Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
It is a known fact that the Indian equity markets are going through a good run, but retail participation is far from satisfactory. The need of the hour is for someone to reach out to these retail investors and explain the market to them in their layman language and also through a medium that they are comfortable with. Hello and welcome to Market Mentors presented by Dalal Times, where we'll take a look at a company that's doing exactly that. The times, they are changing, and this change is revolutionizing the mentality of the population. Every day, more and more enthusiasts are tripping on the ups and downs of the stock markets, and thus ensuring to direct them the right way is Dalal Times, a strong investor relationship portal that guides investors in the chaotic world of stock markets and investments and puts them on the right track.
When we started in the year 2014, when we started with multi-month bull run that we are witnessing in the stock market, there was no confidence in the investors or the traders or any other market participants. To give them the confidence, to make them understand that the markets move, markets have beautiful science behind it, to make them empowered, to give them the right kind of information, to make them knowledgeable on the markets, and to be confident enough with the markets, we have created Dalal Times.
Dalal Times is a brand created with great passion. The vision behind creating this brand was very, very clear. We wanted to empower investors with a knowledge platform that could transform their lives. When I say this, I mean that we wanted to give them something that was so powerful that they saw the merit in taking a calculated risk.
Dalal Times stands for its connect with audiences that are craving for the right information but are rather left stranded due to an information overload.
When you look at the information available for the market participant, I believe that market participants have been bombarded with too much of information. But then even today, the best of the information that comes in for the market participants in India is from abroad. So I feel like there's a huge vacuum in the market research front in India. We would like to position ourselves as market researchers, like to give them the information in-house that's made in India.
A startup that is slowly becoming the talk of the town, Dalal Times is slowly gaining momentum in a market already filled with competitors.
Digital was the first, option we chose when we wanted to reach out to people, and eventually we decided that a lot of credibility could also be attracted by the print medium. That's when we did Dalal Times magazine as well. Within a very short span of time, dalaltimes.com and Dalal Times magazine has gone on to change merely a name Dalal Times into the brand Dalal Times, and I'm sure as we progress, Dalal Times is going to be a financial brand you can definitely reckon with. We're clearly positioning ourselves as the brand that is a knowledge center which possesses the understanding of defining stock markets to investors. When we say we want to empower investors, we are not just saying it. You can see it in our products, whether it is the interface of the website or the sections in the magazine. Everything we have created stays true to our brand principles of defining the markets.
On that note, it's time for a very short break here on Market Mentors presented by Dalal Times. On the other side, I'm in conversation with Praveen Patil and Namita Singhwani of Dalal Times. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Market Mentors presented by Dalal Times. I'm now in conversation with Praveen Patil and Namita Singhwani. Hi guys. You're just about a year old and you're in a sector which is many decades old with competitors that also have decades of experience. What's that about? What's the thought there?
I admit the fact that expertise comes with experience, especially when it comes to the stock market. But I also feel like we might be a less than a year old company as a team, but then when it comes to the table, especially on the research front, which is providing most of the content for us, the amount of experience that comes to the table is more than a decade.
Okay.
Which adds to the competitiveness to withstand this competitive world.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I'd like to add to what Praveen is saying. Stock markets are a beautiful place to be in. I think if anyone is willing to invest some time in it, it is a market that will not let you down. You're right, when you say that the market, the industry is decades old. However, I feel that it has not got its due credit. For whatever reasons, it's being looked up to as a very complicated process. I personally believe that anyone who has basic understanding of how business is done, or if anyone can add or subtract, he is more than eligible to invest, in the stock market. What really surprises me is that India is a land of startups. From the local chai wala to the high-flying corporate, we all know how business is done. But in spite of that, we still feel that investing in another business is risky.
Right.
This is where, we are trying to make the difference with our products. We are trying to reach out to investors and tell them that, this is the place to be in. And what also makes us different is the fact that we're not just aiming at Indian investors. Indian investors are of prime importance to us, but we're also trying to make global investors see India as, a beautiful destination to invest in, because for all practical purposes, this is the land of opportunities.
Right. So you are really passionate about this, Namita. So I do want to talk to you about this. But before I come to that, and before Praveen, we also chat a little bit more about this. Namita, how did you embark on this entrepreneurial journey? Because I believe this is your first venture out as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
How did that happen? How did that come about?
That's actually a very interesting question, Sumit. Personally, I've had humble beginnings. I come from a family of teachers. And 12 years ago, when I came to Bombay, the city, the pace, the people, everything was so overwhelming. 12 years hence, I feel like I belong here. So about a year ago, when I was really looking at taking my media learnings to the next level, I fortunately happened to meet Praveen.
Okay.
I was taken aback when he asked me few very simple, basic questions about my spending pattern or my investing pattern. At that point of time, I somehow successfully answered those questions, but at the back of my mind, I just knew they weren't the most concrete answers. Sometimes conversations with people just tick something off in your mind.
Yeah.
This conversation was exactly one of that. After I spoke to him, I could not stop thinking about the fact that, how can something so basic not have occurred to me? The next time I met him, he had my answers, but he also had a very beautiful vision. He had this beautiful vision of spreading his knowledge to everybody, to making everybody, informed about stock markets, or keeping everybody informed about the beauty in the stock markets. And so I think his vision, along with some immense confidence he's had in me, really gave birth to the brand called Dalal Times, and that's how this journey pretty much began. Let's
get back to talking about Dalal Times, but what are some of the various services that you are offering under Dalal Times?
Okay, so I'd like to tweak that word a bit here. I would not want to say we are a company offering services. I think at an overall level, I'd like to be positioned as the company that offers knowledge. Products and services just happen to be ways of fragmenting what you know. So yes, we are offering this type of knowledge, in various formats. One of the formats which we have for long-term investors is Dalal Times, the monthly magazine. It is the magazine for people, who want to be invested in the stock markets in the long term. Then we also have a digital platform. It is, of course, digital being the most obvious choice, keeping in mind the convenience of the medium really. That is the platform which talks to traders. It talks to people on the move. It's giving you stock market news, stock market updates, while you're at work or while you're at it. So apart from this, we also have Technical Outlook, which is a digital-only magazine. This is a magazine which caters to a very niche audience who's interested in technical analysis.
All right.
This is not the end. We have a newsletter which is coming up, a daily newsletter which will be starting very soon. And yeah, there's a book, which Praveen is going to be writing himself.
People always think that you need a lot of money to get into the stock market to make more money. And another myth, you could say, or rather a mindset that I've seen very often amongst Indians is that we love the word guarantee. So if anything says X is guaranteed, we love it, as opposed to something that is a little risky but will give us much better return. It's time to change the mindset, you think? And do you think it's time? How can we bring this change?
As you rightly said, Indians love the word guarantee. Even today, when we Indians go to purchase something, the first question that we will be asking to them is the price, and the second obviously would be how much guarantee or the warranty that I'll be getting along with this product. But then what happens is, if you were to fall sick and if you were to visit a doctor and doctor says like you need to be operated to get complete cure for that particular health problem, and you need to obviously sign a paper to the hospital or the doctor saying that there's no guarantee or attached to this particular operation, saying that the operation would be successful one. And this is where the factor of trust replaces the guarantee. And we sign it because we trust the hospital or the doctor.
Right.
So similarly, when it comes to the money part, when it comes to the stock market operations, I think that it's high time that trust as a factor could replace the guarantee as a word.
Right.
And that is where I feel like Dalal Times as a company, we don't want to become overnight super brand. We want to build this trust with every passing day and make it a bigger brand over the years to come.
Yeah, just a bit, to add to what Praveen is saying, that stock markets are generally perceived to be something, which is very risky. For something which is perceived to be so risky, I think seeing is believing. I saw it, I believed it. I think that if people who are already invested in the stock market, if, they somehow reach out to their friends or their family and show them, how they are reaping the benefits, it will be a massive mindset. I sometimes also feel, and I hope I'm wrong, that people who are making money from the stock markets like to keep it as a well-guarded secret. They don't want to let the cat out of the bag and let people know.
The inner circle.
Yes, they like to keep the inner circle. Yeah, absolutely. And there is one very infamous fact I keep sharing with the people I meet, that marriage was the biggest risk you took. Stock markets are at least going to get you money.
Okay, well said on that, Namita. But Namita, we were talking earlier and you did mention that you are targeting a certain kind of audience. So, you mentioned that you were looking at housewives and students who are not your everyday regular audience that you target. So, how are you going to go about achieving that? How getting your products, getting to your services, getting your knowledge across to them?
So, if you see the psyche of women, I feel they are the best suited for stock markets. We started addressing this psyche, with the kitty party section in our magazine. It's a very vast area, so you'll see extensions of it on our website in the coming times as well. Apart from this, something very interesting which we are introducing is called the pink stocks. So these pink stocks are essentially going to be stock knowledge for women in their language. We are going to tell her about businesses she is interested in, the language she understands. As far as students go, yes, we have a lot to offer these guys as well. In fact, as we speak, we have reached out to about hundreds of youth across the south and the west.
Fantastic.
Who will be taking forward the brand Dalal Times, this quarter. We've tried to keep our pricing very attractive for these students.
On that note, it's time for a very short break. You're watching Market Mentors presented by Dalal Times. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Market Mentors presented by Dalal Times, and I'm in conversation with Praveen Patil and Namita Singhwani. One of the big issues of when you talk about the financial markets is, again, it's like a mental barrier. People automatically step back because they're like, oh my God, there's going to be so much technical knowledge, there's going to be so much jargon, it's just going to go all above my head. How are you planning to look at that aspect and help people get over that mental hurdle?
If we can explain actually what logic is that jargon carries, they will understand much better. And if you were to look at the contents that comes in a magazine or be it the website, web portal that we have, you can understand that there's no jargons usually used. It's the explanation of those jargons in a very, very simple manner, so that even if someone doesn't know what exactly these jargons mean, they will be in the process of getting into the stock market.
Right.
So we are actually simplifying these jargons.
You know, Praveen, one big concern is, so during a bull market or during an up market, everyone's happy, everyone's excited, everybody wants to be a part. But people very often lose interest when it turns to a bear market or when it starts to fall. And it's really important that people stay, because people have to be disciplined, people have to be in this for the long term, and because it's a cycle. It'll go down one day, it'll come back up. How are you planning to get people to stay interested in the markets even when it's a downturn?
It's all the mindset that people have. Like you can make money only during the bull markets. Okay. If you understand the markets, if you understand the beautiful science behind it, you will understand that there's no way that you can't make money from a bear market. The reason is simple. If you look at the bull market, 9 out of every 10 stocks rallies participate to the bull side. Okay. When it comes to the bear market, only hardly 1 out of every 10 stocks might rally. It's really tough picking the stocks at that particular time frame. Okay. It is at that point of time the knowledge part comes to us. It is at that point of time Dalal Times will have more credibility than any other competitors that we have in India. Okay, so and I'll give you a simple example. Markets do corrected last month in the month of March.
Right.
Okay, and we have innovated something called the DTX30.
Okay.
And during the month of March, DTX30 was outperforming Nifty or for that Sensex or for that matter any other indices that we have in India. So we are trying to innovate. We are finding out ways wherein you can withstand even the downturns that we have in the market. So as I said, we will be doing good right now and we will be doing great when the markets turn down.
That's great. That's great music to everyone's ears, I'm sure. But Praveen, you mentioned DTX30. What is DTX30?
We have defined something theoretical index which gives a new way of looking at an index, framing an index. So DTX30 is an index which is based on performance, growth and value. Okay. So consistently, if some stock is performing, having its own growth cycle and delivers value to each and every stakeholders that it has, only such stocks do find place in our index.
Namital, talking to you about Dalal Times. So you mentioned that you have a magazine, you have a website, and you're very soon going to launch the newsletter. What else can we see in the future? Will we have a mobile app soon?
Yes, of course. So right now our focus clearly is on building the existing products we have. We are a brand which is literally 4 months old, and for something which is 4 months old, we have a lot on our plate already. So yeah, we want to build the products first. The ones we've already created, is something we need to seep into the customer.
I would say here, I would like to add not only building products, building quality products.
Yeah.
So we want to, seep the what you call faith into the minds of the consumer. We want them to treat us like a more credible brand. And yes, once they do treat us as a credible brand, the other things are just going to be extensions of it, whether it is a mobile app or whether it's WhatsApp updates. These are all just going to be extensions of what is already being offered.
Because that's how technology is moving. I mean, you've got to adopt technology to reach out to people. It's making life easy for everyone. But currently, are you only operating domestically, or are you internationally spread out?
Of course. So yeah, we not only have plans of taking our products abroad internationally. We don't only have plans of taking our products internationally, but we also plan to take our operations internationally.
Okay.
How, when, what is something we are still discussing. once we finalize, once those plans are concrete, maybe we'll do another half an hour show with CNBC TV18 only talking about this.
But before I let you go, I have one question. Dalal Times, it's a perfect fit name. Yes. It's obvious when you say it, it's about the stock markets. But how did you guys zero in on Dalal Times?
That's pretty, what do you say, like a moment to cherish about. The first thing that we had when we were looking out for, we need to carry this knowledge part to each and every retail participant especially, and to any other market participant. We were thinking of different things, like different names, and the first name that comes to our mind when we were doing the naming part was Dalal Post. Okay, and we thought like rather than being Post, why not Times? The reason is very simple. When you look at it, you always remember the timeline,
right? Rather
than day-to-day delivery of a post.
Right.
That's how we coined the name Dalal Times.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we got it.
Fantastic, Leaf. That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Namita. Thank you so much, Praveen, for being on the show. And we wish you all the very best for the way ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sumit.
Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.